Viewers, and welcome to our look at the Project Cars Media Day. A day that represents just a couple of months now until the game's finally launched, and it's being shown to many of the media for the first time. They may have heard of it, they may not have heard of it. So you see Andy Tudor here with his presentation revealing some of the new aspects of the game as well, including the driver network, which was discussed last week, and what was behind the inspiration of the game. Ollie Webb here as well, giving an introduction on the input from real racing drivers. Before we got the chance, we see Martin there. I'm looking at the track there. There's me before a bit of karting, experiencing some of the racing cars and experiences you'll be experiencing in the game. It's been 3 years that we've been covering this game, lots and lots of content. You'll be seeing more written content on the site as we build up towards launch as well. But first, it's time for a bit of karting on this mini version of Brands Hatch. So it's really nicely laid out here. It was a lot of fun, nice and grippy. It's the external view there of everybody driving around. Some were quicker than others. But if you've been karting before, you know, you just put your foot down and go for it. It will hang in there. You see a mini paddock hill bend up into a mini Druids. A lot of fun on this little circuit here. A bit of fun recording everybody. It's good, you know. So we're giving the journalists a feel of what the circuit's like, and then they can play the game. They can see how it comes together. You can see the people posing with the cars there. Great opportunity for people to get up close to these cars, get in the pit lane, have a real wander around, unrestricted really. And it's always nice to go to a race track like this and just have that kind of access. We see here cars pulling out, getting at biting points. Always tricky. Rev it, give it lots of revs, and then get out there on track. Now, when you're going out on track in one of these cars, it feels a lot quicker than you'd expect. So, you know, don't compare them to racing drivers. And when you go out there and you might be doing 40 and you feel like you're doing 100, we see an onboard bit of footage as well. Just a feel for what it's like out there. It's always very different doing a track day to the F1 stars you see on TV, of course. It takes a lot of experience to understand how to drive any of these cars at speed. But either way, whenever you race them, you've got a big smile on your face. Lots of fun. Really physical in some of the corners. You see the back end stepping out there slightly. And you come up towards the end of the lap and you have that direction change. So it puts a load either side of your head there. It's a quick swing one way to the other. It's quite something in a drift car, I can tell you, when I experienced it. And of course here we see the game as well. A bit of the game in action. This is one of the forthcoming videos that will be coming up on the channel in the Formula Golf. Just going around the same sort of corners there, attempting to avoid an accident. It just really shows the level of detail that's been improving all the time. Constant changes to it all the way through development. Great to see people improving their lap times on the circuit. Of course, Martin is out there. He's done the karting. I was doing a single-seater experience. Alas, I couldn't fit in the car. I'm too tall for it. It was great to see everybody enjoying it. And we'll see Martin's thoughts in just a moment. He gets his way out of the car, gets his helmet off, and we'll see what he had to say about that experience and a few laps.
Yeah, absolutely exhilarating. Just so low down to the ground, really heightens the sense of speed. I didn't get on with the gearbox very well though, so it probably does need a new gearbox after that. Spun it as well once. That was quite hair-raising. Completely lost control, but yeah, very good fun. Very good fun.
Brilliant. So then Martin was out in the BMW M3 there. It's all adrenaline when you're in those cars. I got Martin as soon as he got out the car, and, you know, it's like, wow, you know, it's something going out there. You know, you're on your own in the car, and you can see everybody here driving around in BMWs. Obviously, they're in the car with someone who's telling them when to go for it. And some of the cars are going pretty quick as well. Some people were really going for it there. And, you can see them thundering their way around there. So a really good experience. And then after that, obviously a bit of lunch, and then on to testing out the game. And of course, again, we see the PS4 version, which was predominantly what was displayed here. A couple of PCs here and there, mind you. But we've seen lots of the PC version. We'll see a bit more of that to come, and we can see people here playing on 4K TV. See, they're being demonstrated. So now the settings. Everybody's playing with different settings here. Some people are playing with arcade settings. Some people are playing with sim. There's 5 different types of setups you can have. So one thing is not to take too much from the handling in any of these videos, because they're all very different from one another in terms of how they're set up. And I know a lot of people analyse different videos, such as the PlayStation Access one I think they showed, and you never know what the setup is. Suffice to say, they had slick tyres in the wet, which was virtually impossible to drive at speed. You can see there was an American Muscle event taking place as well. More cars! We want more cars! And there was the PC version being played with a controller. I much prefer the wheel myself, I have to say. If you've got a PC and you can get a wheel, get a wheel. Now, I'm on the 4K screen and seeing how I can get on. I'm useless with a controller, I know. And you know, you drive around the first few corners, you just want to see where the grip is in this thing and how it handles. The handling has changed so much in different ways. You know, every time there's a new build, you're testing out the handling, and I'll look at that in a couple of upcoming videos. You know, there are cars I've driven before, some I didn't get on with, some I did, and handling's changed every time. We'll talk about those when we look at them. So, good experience for everybody. They've seen the circuit, they've been out on the circuit, and now they're getting an example on the game as well, just to see. They've got a fair idea on the layout. It's always very different when you're using a controller. Formula Rookie here, old school Formula Fords. Blasting it down the start-finish straight. And as you can see on the PlayStation 4 version, it's pretty much all there. There's a certain sparkle and a polish that's on the PC version that's not here on this one. I go a bit wide there, not quite knowing my braking point. Driving without audio is quite tricky. So you don't, obviously we're driving here, didn't have any headphones on, couldn't get any audio, so sort of doing it in the hubbub of the room. But I know brands, there's no excuse there, I just want to go faster. And so it's just a look at the PS4 version, just a look at the details, but overall, let's face it, I've seen lots of detailed comparisons between this and other games. I'll talk about all of those at a later date. Suffice to say that on the PS4 you've got this and Drive Club, and they're very different types of games, offer very different experiences, so it depends on what kind of experience you're after, what kind of cars you want to drive, as to what experience you enjoy. But from a visual perspective, let's face it, it's one of the best racing games ever made. It doesn't matter what format it's on. So we'll just see how the final PS4 version turns out. Of course, again, you can see here as well some of clips from my upcoming Project Cars videos, which are going to be on the channel over the course of the next few days. I'm going to be away for a few days, so I'm going to leave you with some no comment runs and some different simple runs on Project Cars and other games as well. But Project Cars certainly coming along, and it's a good opportunity, again, as I say, to test out the handling, see the visuals, see how the circuits have developed and everything else. But that's it for this media day. We've got another part coming, which is an interview with Ollie Webb, and there'll be more from me very soon.